In the small town of Halley's Creek, there was an old clock shop tucked away between two larger buildings. It was run by Mr. Finch, a quiet man with gray hair who never seemed to age. The townspeople rarely paid him much attention, but everyone knew one thing: his clocks were perfect. They ticked with a precision no other clocks could match. No matter the size or design, each clock in his shop kept perfect time. It was said that Mr. Finch had a magical gift, but no one knew for sure. One evening, a curious young woman named Lila walked into the shop. She had heard stories about the clocks, about the way they seemed to almost whisper in the quiet hours of the night. "Good evening, miss," Mr. Finch greeted her with a warm smile, his eyes twinkling behind his glasses. "How can I help you?" Lila hesitated. "I've heard rumors," she said. "About your clocks. People say they're more than just clocks." Mr. Finch chuckled softly, but there was a knowing look in his eyes. "Perhaps you've heard some tall tales. My clocks are simply clocks, nothing more." But Lila didn't believe him. She felt something strange in the air, something she couldn't explain. She walked around the shop, her fingers brushing against the polished wood of the clocks. Then, in the far corner, she noticed an old, dusty clock. It was different from the others, its face was cracked, the hands frozen at midnight. She felt drawn to it. Without thinking, she reached out and touched the clock's face. Suddenly, the air around her grew still. The clocks all stopped ticking. The room seemed to fall into an unnatural silence. Mr. Finch's face turned pale. "No one touches that clock," he said, his voice urgent. "It's not meant to be disturbed." But it was too late. The clock's hands began to turn, slowly at first, and then faster. The walls seemed to shift, the room distorting. Lila felt her body being pulled toward the clock, her vision blurring. In the chaos, she heard Mr. Finch whisper, "I warned you." With a sharp crack, the world around her shattered like glass. When Lila opened her eyes again, she was standing outside in the cold, the clock shop nowhere to be seen. The street was quiet, as though nothing had ever happened. But as she looked at her watch, she saw it. The time was frozen at midnight.